Hey guys, welcome into another episode of Slightly Serious.
I'm Nick.
I'm Zane, and we're in person again.
I'm so happy right now.
So I kicked down his door, and we're doing it in his living room.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a jank setup. It's gotten kind of funny. The computer and the mixer are just on some TV trays, like the dinner trays.
It's true.
And the camera is propped up on a tower of
Little Tykes blocks.
Little Tykes building panels or whatever. They're not even blocks. They combine to make blocks, but they're just little puzzle pieces.
We use them to make forts.
So a foot in square diameter. It's crazy, but it's pretty cool. We made a little tower with it. Got the camera set up.
Yeah.
Chilling on his couch like the old days where we were on the couch in the original room.
I know, dude.
It was a smaller couch.
Yeah, this is a
we
large
are
couch.
saying R.I.P. to that couch. That couch is staying behind in the house I moved out of. It was $10. So I'm about fighting it down some stairs for a $10 couch. I have the other one downstairs that was better anyway.
We got it for $10, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where was that at? Goodwill? Habitat for Humanity?
It was Goodwill, but it was their mega store or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good buy. That was in Akron.
Yeah, I said the couch is fine, so I'm leaving it behind along with one of my computer desks that I don't use anymore.
Shout out to the terrific and well-defined, well-built, well-structured city of Akron, Ohio for our couch. $10 at Goodwill.
Fuck that goddamn city. That's why I'm moving out of it. Can't stand it.
Yeah, you're trying to get into what? The Falls area?
Yeah, but big thing I also want to mention is because of the setup, we are holding the microphone, so there might be some noise of us moving a little bit with the mics.
I'm going to try not to move too much for you.
Yeah, moving is fine. It's more of this, moving our hands on it.
When you stroke the mic?
Yeah, when you give it a nice little Anyways, side tangent over. But yeah, we're back in person. This couch is eating me because I'm fat, but we're here.
You've actually lost weight. You were even fatter at one point.
Yeah, I lost 60 pounds, and then I've gained 30 back.
Nice.
So
it's always one step forward.
Well, it's also the combination of I lost that 60 my first year doing my job because it was very physical every day.
Yeah.
And then I went and started doing only working half the week, and I do a lot more driving than I was for that first year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still some physical aspects to it, and also muscle weighs more than fat, so some of it is some muscle buildup. But it's also I've just gotten fat again.
Do you think they'll ever develop for long-term road drivers a system where instead of just a pedal where you put your foot down, with a certain amount of pressure, you're actually just pedaling?
That sounds very dangerous.
Why?
Because
instead of a brake, back pedal, or just you're riding a bike.
It also sounds like more mechanical things to fuck up, and we're pulling 80,000 pounds down the road. That's
but if your physical health is becoming a problem, don't you feel like
I'm saying that it sort of
that?
makes sense, but also if I said that's more shit to fuck up.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, if I go to back pedal and the chain breaks, oh fuck. Now I can't stop this bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Well, you would have to structure your
there's
chain.
There's a lot of people. The hotels I've been staying at have gyms in them, so I've been trying to do run a mile or something, or do some walking before I go to bed at the hotels, just to kind of
stairs are hard even for me.
Have
you noticed how much of a workout stars are?
That's
if you
why
just walk up stairs.
Stairs are fucked.
Stairs are crazy.
But so I've been trying to put
stairs be crazy. Welcome to our new segment. Stairs are crazy. Whoa!
What really grinds my gears?
It's
my family
MC Escher painting in here.
But so yeah, I'm trying to put some in there. But the other thing is too I've been with my girlfriend, and she knows how to cook some good ass food.
You have been with her, yeah.
And she makes sure I got some food packed for me when she can.
She packs your lunch, bro?
Yeah, usually for the first day I'm out. The second day it's usually on me. But it's usually a couple sandwiches, any leftover food that she might have made for dinner. I'll usually have something like that take out. And she has a daughter, so there's
scrapes the top layer off the garbage.
Slathers it on a piece of sourdough.
This is still good.
But so I've been eating pretty good, a lot better than I was when before I met her. So
it'd be hard not to. All you ate was pretty much just takeout, fast food.
If I even did that, half the time, I would just have some basic shit in my.
You're like, these wings have been in here for 2 weeks from Five Guys, but
it's smells fine. Let's fire it up.
Sure, they're fine.
I'm sure if I microwave, it'll kill anything that's bad
add
on
some
it.
butter to it. It's good.
But also, I've been eating a lot better. We've actually her and I have talked about it, and we're gonna start trying to still cook, but be more conscious of what we're cooking, because we both kind of just got into that aspect of us being together. We're just kind of enjoying the meal side of it, and we're not really paying attention to what we're eating. So
elaborate.
We just eat whatever was good, just because we were having family meals together.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like as long as we're eating together, it's healthy.
yeah. So we're like we actually need to like pay attention to what
But it
we're
was still
eating.
KFC.
Well, no, it was like she'd air fry a lot of stuff, or it was just like really.
Explain this
really
air fryer to me because I don't have one. I've never had one. How do you air fry something?
I don't understand how it works either. It just does it. It's magic. It's like a basket.
You put something in it.
You put food in it, and you put it. It's like a little oven, but it like quickly does stuff. It makes stuff like crispy, like a fryer does,
like a
but without
breading.
grease.
Like you could bread it. Like
yeah. I mean, I think you still like for some things you still have to actually fry, but it also just like cooks better than like a microwave. Like you could reheat stuff in it, and like if you like microwave
how
pizza,
big are they?
They come in different sizes.
Are they bigger than a bread box?
Yeah. Overall, it's a little bit bigger than a bread box, but it's also like it's kind of like smaller than a microwave though usually. But but the thing is like, if you like microwave pizza, it gets warm, but it's usually like kind of sloppy, like soggy. You know how like the crust gets all watery.
I know. Yeah, I have an issue
But
with
if you
that.
could air fry a leftover piece of pizza, and it'll have like a crispy crust again.
Yeah.
And like it'll taste better.
Well, that's why I put them in the oven.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, but like it could do it in like a minute.
Oh.
Or
that
like
quick.
like a couple minutes where like put stuff in the oven takes you to let it
5
preheat.
minutes to heat up.
Yeah.
10 minutes to heat up.
That 5 minutes took to heat up, it's already done.
Done.
So
it's
like
crispy.
it's a lot faster and it's smaller, easier to
So you've been doing a lot of air frying. That's your point.
Air frying,
You're an
yeah.
air fry expert at this point. So
I'm
if I
not
said
expert,
to you,
I
"Hey
just-
man, I got a corn dog. I need you to air fry this," you could do it for me. And how fast?
I would have to, however fast my girlfriend could answer my message on how to do it.
Oh, so you really have her do it.
If I'm like, hey, I want to heat these
You
up.
could not yourself, as of right now,
I
air
could
fry me a corn
I
dog.
could probably figure it out with some trial and error.
God, Zane.
But like usually
This
if
guy.
I have to heat something up, I usually message her like, hey, this is what I'm trying to eat.
Are
Like,
you shitting me?
should it be 400 for 5 minutes? And she'll be like, actually, like do like 375 for like 10. You'll be all right. I'm like, bet, thanks.
Okay, yeah, no, that's true. I defer to people who I previously dated, even sometimes for cooking advice.
Yeah,
I've hit people up random comments before, and I was like, hold on. So like, let's say I'm doing a steak for $375. She's like, Nick. I'm like, yeah, all right, hold on. So like, let's say I'm trying to do it at $375. Would you say 20 minutes?
I
She's
thought
like,
I blocked you.
we haven't spoken in 2 years.
So I thought I blocked your ass.
How about that steak though?
Like I get that, but can you answer the question?
Is it 15 or 20 minutes?
It's just like I don't cook either. It's like fuck.
Do you want a steak? I'm cooking steak tonight.
Also, I like my hoodie back, and then the message not able to be sent. You're like, shit, I got blocked.
I still have your ice pack.
I found a pair of your socks in the bottom of a bag, and I thought, I know who would know how to cook a steak. So I messaged you.
I stopped meditating as much, and I've been finding a balance. You remember how like I was just
so you're not going full monk on us anymore?
Well, I'm not saying anything other than this. I have been meditating less. Still being aware, but I'm trying to find balances in certain things. Also, I was getting foggy, man. I was getting really foggy. I have to find a balance. I'm working on finding a balance.
Our last episode, you made a lot of comments that honestly kind of worried me. Of where like you're like I meditate so much, I spend so much time in that state.
It was over 25% of my day. Bro.
You're like I forget that I like am a person.
Yeah,
and I'm like that's where it starts to get scary. Bro.
I was forgetting I had a physical form, and let me elaborate on this because I feel like this can be confusing. Like, how does Nick forget he had a physical form for a second? All right, so you know how like when you're depressed, for instance, you can sometimes spend like a day or two and you're not showering, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not eating properly, things of that sort. I wasn't depressed. I felt great. Even despite what most people would find a really depressing situation, I felt really great. However, because I spent so much time ignoring the physical reality and spent so much time in just this state of emptiness and this path of like learning and this focus on this, I had neglected the physical aspects of myself. And since I spent so much time not even with my eyes closed and not talking and in silence or just I would literally forget sometimes when I went about my day that when people looked at me, I might look disheveled. I might look like, oh, like he hasn't shaved in a while, or, like I no longer cared about my physical appearance at all, because I was like, well, this isn't, since it's not important to me, since it's not a part of my philosophy, which it's still not necessarily, it's not like my philosophy's changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that like I can't ignore the fact that I'm still walking around and I'm still existing.
You still have an image.
I still do have an image to uphold. I still owe my children like.
It's hypothetically, okay, you're walking down the street, all right? And say, like, Medina, Ohio.
Yeah.
And some raggedy-ass looking motherfucker comes up to you and is like, have you heard about Buddhism? Are you going to take that motherfucker serious? You come up, brother, have you heard about Buddhism, man? It really, like, has helped center me. And then you're like, bro, you smell like shit.
Well,
what's happened to your hair, bro?
Yeah, I mean, but it was more than that.
Like,
it was more like, seriously, it was more than that. It was like, I just like, it wasn't even like I didn't shower, because I was showering still.
I know,
like,
but it's just funny.
I'm just
like,
using that as like an example. Like I would, much like someone who was depressed, who like forgot to like shower and bathe and do all these different things. Like I spent so much of my time there,
outside of your own mind.
Here, across the gates, in the abyss.
But yeah, so no, like I'm glad you're trying to find more of a balance, because like I said, like it was kind of worrying when you're like, yeah, I spent so much time like that, I just forgot I was a person. I forgot I had a physical self. I'm like, that sounds like you're going crazy.
Well, chemicals are so important, man, and we're all composed of chemicals, as we know. I mean, we're all just like molecules and atoms and electrons and photons and
I'm
neutrons and
I'm composed
Jimmy
of
neutrons and
excellence.
And they're all just.
I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence.
And do you take a dump of success at the end of the night?
No, I just wake up in the morning and I piss excellence, because
sounds exhausting.
The other drivers can't handle my shit.
Do you replenish?
No.
Electrolytes.
Do you chew Big Red?
Fuck you.
But no, so I'm glad that you're trying to find a balance and stuff with that. It's definitely good. I'm trying to figure out work-life balance stuff still.
Yeah, you are.
The change I tried to make with work, it fell through.
I still haven't met his girlfriend.
It'll happen eventually.
Isn't that crazy? How long have you been dating?
What's up?
9 months.
Something like that. 8 months, 9 months, somewhere in that range.
And how many times have I met her or seen her in person?
0.
Oh,
you keep asking about it, it'll stay 0, motherfucker. But we kind of talked about that.
I just started to realize that she might not be real.
And and it's something that I also realized too, and I thought about it, and like outside of like my immediate family, there hasn't really been anybody else in my life that has met her. And it's a lot of because of my previous relationship, she was like so involved in everything I did that I came into this one with like, I'm just gonna let her and I be her and I.
Yeah, I get that.
And I kind of like have just like enjoyed that aspect of like, she's mine. We don't really have too much of like an outside thing. Neither one of us are very like outgoing, like extroverts. So we kind of thrive off of like solidarity, kind of just being ourselves, being able just to be home. We do like, we might go out on walks and stuff, but that's still just like us and outside. We might like, hi to someone who walks by, but we're not like trying to like stop and become friends with people. It's just more of we just enjoy life as us, and it's definitely a new thing for me to get used to, because I was more of life is me, and so even having them in my life has been like a change, and like I enjoy it, but like I've always kept my like circle very small, because like outside of like
but you keep circles within your circles.
I don't even really have that many like,
and you don't even have circles.
It's more
you just have.
I have a circle.
You have a small circle
with dots in it that don't touch each other.
With dots that don't touch, consisting of dots.
Like, it's a Venn diagram with a bunch of circles inside of it that don't interact.
You have a hexagram or an octagon.
Yeah, because like there's like me in the center, and then there's like my family's over here in this like this attached circle. And then there's
the
over
two
here
Nicks.
is Nick 1, and then there's Nick 2, but they've never met.
Nope.
And I've been friends with both of them for years.
Yeah, true.
And then there's now here's my girlfriend,
Nick. I'm watching,
and like her family, and my girlfriend has forced my family and her family wants to touch, but only because she met my family, because she planned my birthday get together. She found them on like Facebook and got in contact with them that way. I didn't arrange that. So
Really?
like, she kind of forced those two together. But like I said, outside of that, like I don't have like a lot of friends. So like there's
You
like
don't?
there's so it's always been
What?
Nick or podcast Nick, as most people know you as.
Yeah.
And then there's trainer Nick, because he was my trainer at my job, but that's how I met him. So everyone just kind of knows him as that's Zane's friend Nick, but he was like the one who trained him in his old job.
I'm trying to think what job would it have been.
When I first got my driver's license, my CDL.
Oh.
That first couple months I was at Mast, I spent in a truck with him for that first month. So we spent a month straight pretty much living together in a truck.
Oh, wow.
And he's the one that got me back into playing Magic.
Would you
and
wash
stuff.
each other's backs and stuff too?
We would cuddle when it got cold.
Yeah.
It was actually one of the, it was like the first or second week we had to come back to the shop at work because our truck's heater broke. So they had to do like maintenance on it. So we're like walking into the building, like through the office while they're working on the truck. And one of like the guys was like, "So how you guys getting along? Like you guys are out there in the truck, like you guys doing good?" And they're like, "Yeah, our heater broke." So I had to hop up in his bunk and cuddle him so we could stay warm. I was like, "Yeah, he's a really good cuddler. He has to be the big spoon though." And it was, the office looked at us in a mixture of like horror and confusion, and we just laughed. But we knew like almost within like the first day or so that we were gonna get along, because I started like giving him shit, even though like I barely knew him. And then he was like, this I feel like this is gonna go well. And like, because it was like the first week we were just literally making fun of each other. It just worked out well. He's a good dude. I still message him like almost on a daily basis. We just check in. But yeah, no, it was, so there's like I said, there's like I'm in the middle, and then there's like podcast Nick or you. Sometimes it was Italian Nick, because they just your last name. He has to be Italian. I'm pretty sure it's
for those
Sicilian
of you
or something,
who don't
right?
know, my last name means Christmas in Italian. So it directly
So
translates to
are
Christmas.
you Italian or like Sicilian or something like that?
Both.
Oh, so you're actually a little bit of both?
So on my
I know
dad's,
they're
on my
pretty much next to each other. So
on my dad's side, his let me put it this way: his mom, that side, my dad's mom, so my grandmother on my dad's side, I believe she was from the southern part of Italy. Her family ish, and then my grandfather was from the northern part of Sicily. Right. So northern part of Sicily, southern part of Italy combined. Yeah. So my father is like,
and out there
50 Italian, 50 Sicilian.
It's like the same as being like from from Cleveland and one being from Cincinnati. It's not very far apart out there.
But if you say Buon Natale, Merry Christmas. So my name is Nicholas Christmas.
He's Nick Christmas.
Nick Christmas.
Huh. Where's my fucking presents? Hey everyone, this is Zane here. We here at Slightly Serious have got something truly special for you. Now, whether you're a tattoo veteran or thinking about your first piece, let me introduce you to our fantastic partner, Burning River Tattoo. Now, they are located in the heart of Medina, Ohio. Burning River Tattoo is all about incredible, detail-oriented ink at prices that won't break your bank. Now, what really sets them apart is their artists. These talented individuals don't just tattoo, but they pour their passion into every piece, ensuring that each customer leaves not just with ink, but with a masterpiece. But it doesn't stop there. At Burning River Tattoo, the experience is all about you. From the moment you walk in, you'll enjoy a personalized, one-on-one consultation with an artist who truly listens to your ideas, your wants, and your needs. They dive deep into planning and design, ensuring that your current tattoo flows beautifully into any future work that you might want. It's a thoughtful, collaborative process that prioritizes your vision. And here's something that we really love: their commitment to aftercare. At Burning River Tattoo, your experience doesn't end when you walk out the door. They understand that proper aftercare is vital to keeping your new ink looking fresh and vibrant. Plus, they offer regular follow-ups to answer any questions, provide touch-ups, or just to chat about future ink ideas. You're not just a client, but you're part of the family. Now, every appointment is scheduled around your calendar, making sure that you get the full attention that you deserve. It's a focused and intimate experience, just you and your artist. So if you're looking to get some ink that's as unique as you are,
Check out Burning River Tattoo in Medina, Ohio. Walk through the doors as a client and leave as part of their tattoo family. Now let them know we sent you and take a photo of any work that you get done and share it with us online. Any photos that are submitted give you a chance to have a piece of the podcast in your pocket. These items, such as books we've discussed and a potential future merch drop, could be yours. All you have to do is go on down to Burning River and get your next artwork done. Thank you again to Burning River Tattoo Company for partnering with Slightly Serious. Let's get back to the show.
And we're back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. The power plug for the computer came undone and it died.
It was my fault.
It's clearly his
Somehow.
fault. It can't ever be my fault. That's what you guys just need to learn, okay? I can do no wrong. That's what I've told myself.
I'm so sorry.
But no, it just we kind of have it rigged and stretched, and it just kind of pulled a little bit and pulled the plug out, and then quickly died after that.
Sure
so
did.
We'll keep a little bit better of an eye on it.
What were we talking about when we got cut
I
off?
believe it cut off. You just finished describing the southern part of Italy, northern part of Sicily, connection in your family.
So,
and I asked you where
but my
the
mom's
fuck
my mom's
presents were.
not Italian. Well, she's got a little. She did like an Ancestry.com thing or whatever the background DNA testing. It had a little bit of Italian. With
I'm
her.
sure there's probably a little
French
just
and
that
German.
close. Yeah.
French and German.
Yeah.
Italian, Sicilian, French, German.
So you're pretty much on the opposite side of the
I'm
war.
a smorgasbord.
So you're pretty much against America. That's what I'm hearing. He's actually a spy. Fuck.
No comment.
Camera cuts back. He's just alone. You forget everything you've heard.
From this point forward,
It's just like
you
my
no
foot
longer
sticking out the
remember
corner
anything.
because he wasn't quite drug out the view enough.
Some Manchurian candidate.
But so yeah, no, it's interesting thing with your family and stuff. That's I knew you were like Italian somewhere that I forgot it was like a little bit of both.
Did it cut out when I said that my last name means Christmas in Italian?
Yeah, that was right before because then
Were
I
you looking up at the ceiling? There's people up there.
yeah.
I have an elephant that lives above me.
I was really checking to see if it was getting picked up.
Oh.
But no, I said something about where's my fucking presents because you was talking about the Christmas thing. That's pretty much where the computer came
well,
out.
my last name, for those of you who do not speak
Yeah,
Italiano,
says it means Christmas. So his name is
Natale,
Nick.
Merry
yeah,
Christmas.
it means so his name is Nick Christmas.
Nick Christmas.
And I said where my fucking presents are. Do you think that it cut out the fact that you have a built-in pickup line when you were a kid? Be like, I'm sitting on Father Christmas's lap. Girl.
Yeah, yeah. I did get that a lot. The whole let me sit on Santa's lap thing. I use it as a built-in pickup line. I was like, you know, my last name means Christmas in Italian, girl. You want to come sit on Santa's lap this Christmas?
Yeah.
It worked when I was in middle school, maybe.
Not even then. Like
And barely even then.
probably a little early then, and then high school comes.
To this
it's like,
day, I haven't been laid.
2 kids. I don't know where they came from, but
It's not even mine.
but hell yeah. But yeah, outside of that, said move stuff is happening. We talked about the fact that I was moving. The house is pretty much almost fully packed at this point. I have like a couple tables to move still. We moved the couch and like the coffee table and all that stuff last week.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna move more today before I came here, but it was raining, so I didn't want to move any of the furniture in the rain.
Wow.
Outside of that, it's just some totes with shit. to
Just some
store up.
totes.
Some fucking totes,
Just some
totes.
totes with boats, baby.
Fucking all the boats and totes. A lot of clothes. I gotta go through. Donated probably a whole bunch of it by the time I'm done.
Man, you get such an intense life.
It's just a lot of tedious nonsense at the moment.
Just that adult stuff. Just adulting.
Instead, I'm hoping once this I'm finally out of that place, I can just kind of chill. Be like, I'll be living with my girlfriend, and we're just kind of. I'm still trying to see if there's any hope with still buying a house now, or if I still have to wait a little bit. If it's better to wait like a year or two and build stuff up.
And you said she was giving you shit because you tried to put the Sybian in the bedroom, right? And she was like, "Get that! I don't know. We don't even have space for this."
No, she was just kind of more surprised I had one. She's like, I honestly prefer it on the balcony.
She was like, "Whoa, Zane, you didn't tell me you had
I
one
didn't
of
know
these."
you were cheating on me with this bit, but no,
Wow.
the move is going well. we're adjusting to actually like living together now.
Married life.
It's I know I mentioned it before, but it's definitely a change for me. I'm going from being by myself to now it's her.
To living in a small apartment with a woman and her daughter.
And her child. Yeah. I mean, in essence, I lived in a small apartment. I didn't use 90% of that fucking house I was in. I lived in that room where the computer was.
So wait,
and in the studio
what's
room.
rent for you now?
You
split with her now?
Yeah, we're splitting, and it's like 800. I think we're split. So it's like 400 each.
A month.
Yeah.
Oh.
Plus, like, we split the rest of the bills. So pretty much everything is still like through her name. So she totals up all her bills because she's really particular about it, and then she just tells me what the total is.
Hey, it benefits you both at this point, or else you
we're
wouldn't
both
have been
saving
doing
money.
it.
Yeah. So she pretty much just sums up what the bills are total.
You don't have that shitty house in downtown Akron anymore, and
yeah, we're in a better place. We can actually just go walk places. But
you're not gonna miss the crackheads on the corner.
Nah. But
they offered you free gawk jobs almost every day. You know that, right?
Oh, nothing's free in Akron. You think you're getting a free gawk job, and then they're
they
robbing
expect
you.
crack.
But then they rob you. They have your dick in their mouth, and they're like, "I will bite down if you don't give me $50." I'm almost not even
free.
But I'm almost not even worried about them biting down because they have no teeth.
Yeah.
But then they pull a knife out.
Yeah.
And who knows where that knife's been.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It was used to cut a lot of things.
But yeah, no, life's moving. Said we planned this getting together to do it in person this week, just because it's been a minute since we got to. Well, it's a little janky, but we're making it work.
I'm still like I'm stuck on how detailed you were in the gawk job situation. It was almost like you had experienced.
No,
it's almost like you had experienced that sort of trauma in downtown Akron.
I think it's because I've joked.
Fresh out of a sushi restaurant, I'm getting free gawk jobs now. And then all of a sudden you realize, whoa, nothing's free.
Well, I think it's because I've joked so much on the spot about that kind of shit that I can just create fucked up imagery in such a fast time. We've also just joked about dumb shit like that so long as us. Like even earlier, you were just talking about like something serious, and I was like, but do your taxes know that you're a gay porn star? And you're like, what the fuck, bro? No, they don't know about that shit.
Bro, absolutely. And yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what it was. Nothing else.
But just us, like you said, like we've always been like that. We just suddenly turn whatever conversation into some fucked up shit because like that's how Schlong Along became a thing. It was just randomly a joke that we just kind of never let go.
Good old Schlong Along, bro. So the other day I was sitting here, how you were just talking about like a conversation that could be deep and then all of a sudden just going off topic.
Like every topic, almost every conversation on
and I
this
was just
channel.
sitting here, and I don't know if I was just so high or whatever, but I had this conversation almost planned in my mind. And of course I don't do drugs. It was just a joke. But I had this like conversation in my mind for like a play. And I was thinking like, I'm not going to write the whole play. I'm just going to write one scene or just even a segment of a scene, just like the tiniest little segment of a scene. And it will remind me what this play will be about when I'm ready to write it. And so this is the scene, when you were talking about just like going off topic, so this would be during a deep conversation.
Would it be better if you read it or if I read it for the first time out loud and trying to decipher what you've written?
Look at this and tell me, can you read this?
I can read it. Trust me.
So it's during a deep conversation. Let's say we're talking about someone and their dad dying, and there's two people in a conversation.
During a deep conversation, abruptly, those are both have an asterisk next to them. The male, I'm guessing, is that mom or male?
Well, there's two characters. There's M and Y, me and you. Let's say. Just M and Y.
Well, we're gonna M. Could you grab me that fun dip from over there? Now I want some fun dip. Fuck.
Right. So they're having a deep conversation. Yeah. Could you grab me that fun dip
person
from over
number
there?
2, while stunned. What? Now registering what's being said. Sure. Here. Me, or person number 1, and a glass, offhandedly. Huh? A glass. Please? A glass. Sure. Goes and grabs it. Here. Right. Tearing packet and pouring it into the cup. Yeah, no, that I can't read.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Some of it makes sense, and then
I
some
need
of
you
it's
to picture this for a second. There's two people having a conversation. There's Y and there's M, okay?
Yeah.
You're
So
going to be
guys-
Y.
Yeah, so
I'm going to be M. We're having a conversation. We're talking about something,
Yeah.
let's say, terrible, like my father just fucking died or something, right?
Uh-huh.
Something just terrible happened. Two people having a conversation. It's very, very deep. We're talking about it. You're giving me the news that something terrible has happened, right?
Yeah.
And I am
Bro,
now responding out of nowhere.
Your cat died, bro.
And out of nowhere, I'm like, can you grab me that fun dip from over there? And you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Sure. Here.
Sure, here. And you hand it to me. And then I'm just like, and a glass. And
glass?
you go, huh? Off guard, you just go, huh? And I'm like, a glass. And
a
I
glass.
pause, a glass, please.
So, sure. And I grab
But
a
you don't need to
glass.
act it out.
Yeah.
This will be so
Yeah.
quick. Just listen to me for a second, all right? So you're just like, and a glass. And you're like, huh? I'm like, a glass, please. And you're like, a glass, sure. So you come over, you hand it to me. And now I'm tearing the packet and I'm pouring it into the cup. And I'm like,
What's that?
I look at why. So I'm looking at
okay.
you. and
That's why I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
What you were? Because
I'm tearing the packet open.
There's the front thing. I
Oh,
was like,
looks
those
at
L's.
why, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't know what this
And
says.
my handwriting's atrocious because I wrote this in literally 35 seconds flat.
Yeah.
I wrote it so quick. So we're having this deep conversation. I'm Glass,
Yeah.
Glass brings it over. I'm tearing the packet. I'm looking at you. I'm like, Blue Raz, it's the best. And I smile at you, right? I'm just like, Blue Raz, it's the best. And I smile as I'm pouring it in there. And you start to speak again. Like back on the subject of like, okay, so we're over this. Thanks for pouring it in there. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna start speaking again. All right, so about so and so, can you grab me a red one? And you're like, what? A red packet too, please. And there's a pause. You can tell there's like a short circuit. You're like, well, I don't understand. We're like, what? Why is what? Come on, that beeped. What's going on over there?
It's just
it's just alerting us.
just my ad.
So
my
then,
computer trying to sell me shit.
offhandedly, because I can tell that you're trying to register what's going on, I go, I like to mix them. And looking confused, you stare. And I'm like, I can see that you're staring, looking confused. And I go, that's why I want the red one. And you're like, and the glass, I suppose. And I'm like, and the glass, yes. And there's the curtain. So it's like during a very deep conversation, it's almost like the person who got the information's not registering it.
Yeah, that's half,
and they just like completely go,
that's half the conversation.
you know what I
with
mean?
me.
Can I get that fun dip over there? And you're like, fun dip? What? And you're like, yeah, and a glass. And it's like brought over to me, and I'm like, and a red one. And the whole time the person's confused because they're like, I'm confused because he's all of a sudden wanting fun dip, and we're trying to discuss this important matter. It's like did you not register what we're talking about?
Yeah.
But from M's point of view, he's registering the confusion, and he's like, well, he's confused about why I want, because I like
not
to
the
mix them.
fact that he interrupted.
Not
this
the
whole
fact that I'm interrupting the conversation for fun dip. He's confused because I think he's confused because he's like, you don't understand why I want the glass.
Why you
I
want
want to
this
fucking
fun
mix
dip,
them.
yeah.
I want to mix them. That's why I want the two colors and I want the glass, because I want to mix them. That's
Not
why.
about the fact that your dog just died.
So that's you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
That was a interesting tangent. But hell yeah. But other than that, I said I haven't really dove back into a book since I finished. I guess we can kind of call this the book corner.
I don't even know why we have a book corner anymore.
Right
Do we?
now, because neither one of us is really like actively reading a whole lot at the moment. We
Well,
kinda,
I first off, I've only really reread like Kurt Vonnegut books. I'll just say that. I reread Cat's Cradle because it's my favorite book of all time. I reread God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, which if you don't know what this is about, it's written by Kurt Vonnegut. It's called God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater. It is about a man who is born with inherited wealth and moves to a very small town somewhere and pretty much just like becomes this person who anybody can call at any time of day for help, and he'll like assist them and provide people with like financial assistance, and he becomes like this like person of the poor because he inherits all this money, and he's like, well, he's almost like this figure who realizes wealth is just because people say it's important. And he's like, well, what does one man need all this wealth for if I could do all these amazing things for all these people? Pretty wild story. And then I'm rereading Galapagos now, and I'm almost done with it, which is basically about, you know how the Charles Darwin, Galapagos Islands, used that as his experience there as his theory for evolution. In this story by Kurt Vonnegut, a runaway ship transports a group of human beings during this time where the whole world's coming to an end and the whole population's about to be run out to the Galapagos Islands, where they themselves repopulate and basically de-evolutionize. their brains, the whole problem, it turns out, was that our brains were too big. You know, like it turns out this whole time, here we are, and our brains are just too big, and our brains are the problem because we think too fucking much about everything, and we create our own stories for all this, and we think that we're supposed to have wealth and all these different things, and so they go back to and it repopulates there, and instead of evolution taking place, it's de-evolution, and the human brain becomes fucking unable to perceive time, like unable to think of a past or of a present or a future. Like they just only know of just what's happening, and they're only like their goal is they're just fishermen now. They just basically they're almost like seals. They have hands, but they don't have opposable thumbs anymore. They're mainly just like flippers. They swim. They're highly adaptive swimmers, and they catch fish. And they're happy, and they're dumb, and they're fucking amazing. You know?
Oh yeah.
So that was cool. It's been fun.
Yeah.
That's
So
all
I just haven't touched into another series yet. I just kind of been chilling, watching podcasts and listening to music and just kind of doing that. No, I don't have much time for that right now.
No?
I miss it though. Kind of miss it. But no, just kind of chilling on the books. I went so heavy into. We did Harry Potter, then right into the Brandon Sanderson series, and I just didn't give myself like a break to like be after either series. I was immediately deep into another story, so I didn't like things didn't get to just kind of chill.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's good to have a little bit of a break in between, and then.
So I'm probably gonna start because you gave me that one book from Robert Jordan and
Wheel of Time. What's the first one?
I don't know, but I'll probably end up probably firing up those audiobooks and kind of checking those out.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go.
But yeah, other than that, I've just kind of been chilling, brother.
Well, cool, man.
Just wanted to come here, hang out with you. We're gonna play a little bit of Magic the Gathering after this recording sesh.
We are.
I haven't cracked those suckers open in a minute, so it'll be
to summon some
interesting.
demons.
Yeah, and then chilling. I got babysitting duty coming up, so spend some time with the kiddo.
I will spend my weekday cleaning up the weekend disaster here, just in time for the next one to occur.
It's just evidence of your children. That's all it is. All right.
A war zone.
It's a bomb went off. It's fine. Godzilla struck too.
One of Kieran agreed. One of my top forts, if not my best fort I ever built, was built this weekend.
Yeah, and Godzilla unrelatedly struck.
The remnants of part of it took it down.
Yeah, part of it's built for the camera stand. The other part of it got assaulted on us passing by it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you didn't even. Oh, dude, you weren't even here for the epic part of it. I mean, it was.
Oh, yeah, I bet it was fun. Kids love that kind of stuff.
Oh, I loved it. I was in there, man. You don't think I was playing a restaurant?
Oh, I'm sure
I
you
ordered
were.
so much stuff.
Dude, so her daughter loves to play donut shop.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
It's not even just full restaurant. She just wants you to know what kind of donut you want. It's always donuts.
What kind of donut you want?
Always donuts. So I bought her a little like toy donut shop a while back.
Yeah.
They actually had like different donuts and a little oven you could like put it in. And it
Oh,
would, like,
really?
Like pretend cook it for
And
you.
she loves it?
She was all about it. It's kind of gotten pushed to the side. She pulls out occasionally now, as kids do, like move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But it was just because every time I was over there, she was just, "Do you want a donut?" And it was just the empty hand pretend donuts.
Want donut?
So I got her that thing, and then it was like every 5 minutes she was walking up with one of those donuts.
Oh, I never even met the kid I could picture it. Yeah.
So, yeah. But other than that, it's just been chilling. You know, definitely less stressed at the moment, but kind of annoyed with like the work stuff. So.
Yeah, you seem
Trying
less
to-
stressed.
Trying to just figure out the best option with that because I'm still not super happy with work at the moment, but it's also just I'm gonna have a hard time finding a job as well as I have. It's just always gonna be something with any job that you don't like, and it'll as the next couple months come by, things will change again and it might get better. So this is one of those I'm just gonna have to ride through it.
Yeah. Well, let me just put it very simply and say it one way and one way only. The way you had lived before, really, in theory, you don't need a job where you make $100,000 a year to live the way you did before.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have had, any job, and still pretty much did what you did before. So it's not that like it's not that the job you have right now is necessary for your lifestyle. It's just that the job that you have will be necessary for one
That I'm building towards.
that you're building towards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, it's also there's other jobs that are as well.
Mhm.
So it's like if you ever find yourself unhappy at a place, you're never forced to stay there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just the main thing that I said like I'm running into is like if I change companies, then I'm pretty much put on a like I have to now wait another 2 years till loan people will actually want to talk to me
Mm-hmm.
because they want like that 2 years of employment.
Isn't it terrible that like a lot of times we find a job or we find employment and then you're almost like you feel trapped in it because
Mhm.
you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really not happy here. I want to find something else. There's something I'd love to do more. There's something else that I could do more. I know I'd be better at. And then sometimes you get in this like feeling where you're like, I'm trapped in this particular job. Like if I don't like stay here, well, it's going to take me longer to build up. What if it's not stable? There's always like doubts, and like doubt stops us from doing almost anything.
Yeah. So a lot of mine is less of doubt and more of just a timeline based like like once I can get into a house and then I can kind of adjust and go look for something different. I don't want to have to start that 2-year timer over again of like they want you to have been somewhere for 2 years before they talk to you. But once you have the loan, then you can do whatever the fuck you want as long as you can pay your bills.
As long as you can pay it.
Yep. Which is why I've also like said like
So you're saying you'd rather get the loan and then just abruptly find something different?
I don't know if it'd be abruptly, but I could open my horizons wider.
Without having to worry about not getting the
Yeah.
loan because
Like
you
right
get
now,
something.
like I was looking within my company, just transferring to a new account. Where after that, like if I get the loan, get the place already, that's all finalized. Then I can look still in my field, but at different companies. Because like if I had gone from my account over to the account I was trying to go to, it still would have counted as me working at the company because it's the same company.
And it needs you to have it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
with the
they
company. That
said
makes
like the
sense.
magic number is like 2 years. Some say that it's 2 years in the same field.
Yeah, so why start? I
Some
see what
say
you're
it's 2
saying.
years with the same.
It's not that
company.
you're not willing to go find something else.
It's
It's just
just-
that you don't want to do it if like you're currently at this moment waiting to get approved for something you
Mhm.
need to be somewhere 2 years
Yeah.
for.
Because it'll definitely hurt my chances if they're like you just changed your job.
Yeah.
Like you're not even sure how that's gonna look now. But if you have 2 years of consistency at a place, you know what you're getting paid. They know what you're getting paid.
Then they trust you.
Yeah.
That
So-
makes sense.
It's more of just as I said, I wasn't trying to fully leave the company. I was just trying to get in a different position, and it just kind of fell through. They gave it to somebody else, so I'm just kind of chilling for the time being, just trying to keep my mental state at a better spot and kind of go through. Past couple of weeks haven't been too bad. Yeah, I've been getting back on Saturdays. It's requiring like 14 to 16 hour days to get back, but I'm getting back.
Nice.
It's a long day. So I got back yesterday, and by the time I went to bed, I was up for like 24 hours.
Huh.
So it was a long day.
Yeah.
But we're chilling. Today's-
I am at the stagnant stage with work still. I'm still on workers' comp. The problem is like I'm supposed to do physical therapy for my arm, which I've been doing, but the last 3 physical therapy sessions that we've done, we've had to cut short because while I've been in physical therapy, I got electrocuted so bad to the point where like I'll fall or you know what I mean? Like I can't lift weights above my head because if I get shocked, I'll drop the weight on myself.
Mhm.
Like a hard weight, you know what I mean? So like I'll have to do stuff from below or there's other things I'll do, but like the reality is I'm getting shocked so much now. And so they did an EEG and it came back that there's a deep peroneal nerve
Pierogies?
damage. Deep pierogies
Yeah.
in my nerve.
Nice.
There's a lot of pierogies in there. Yeah. There's like deep peroneal nerve damage or something of that sort. But they're also like want me to see like a muscular specialist or something like that. Muscular nervous, I don't know, something of that sort. Anyway,
Mhm.
it continues. The bullshit continues.
Yeah, I feel that.
So it's just this like waiting game,
Yeah,
which has been so much fun. I love it.
I'm not looking forward to my medical journey is going to start come the new year. So
Your medical journey?
yeah,
Because I'll have a cane soon too. Are you gonna match me in my cane game?
no, but I'm going to be going through all the tests and stuff for diabetes and things like that and find out if I have it, and there's like a good chance I probably do. Then I'll have to go through figuring all that out.
Yeah.
So I don't have current insurance, so I'm waiting until the new year where it kicks
What do you
in.
mean you don't have insurance?
I don't have insurance right now.
Why? How?
A lot of fucked up paperwork happened in the office at work the first year, and then last year when open enrollment hit, they would talk about it at the meetings at work. Like, hey, open enrollment suit's going on, make sure you do that. During that session, I was running solo routes, so I would leave 2 hours before the meetings happened. So I was never at any of the meetings, so I never found out about it. And they never, like, told anybody outside of the meeting. So by the time I heard about it, it was like 2 days after the end of enrollment.
Wow.
Yeah, the first year was, I got hired in December. So I did all my paperwork, filed, like, the basic info for insurance. And then they mailed a packet that was, like, the final thing I had to fill out to send it back in to get finalized for my insurance. They mailed it to my house. At that time, the house I had moved into, one I'm just currently moving out of, was marked as vacant by the post office. I went to the post office, filed it, like, hey, my change of address, I live here. They didn't change the vacancy marking on my house. So when I got mail, it would just get sent to return to sender. I had to fight with the post office for like the first 2 months I lived there until they finally started sending me mail. But that insurance packet never made it to my house. It got returned to sender.
Mm-hmm.
So then they mailed it to work. But by the time I got to work, it was after the 1st of January.
That's a real Seinfeld situation you had there.
Yeah. So by the time I got to work and they like, here, this was supposed to be for you, it was after the deadline for me to be able to sign up for insurance.
Yeah.
So I didn't have insurance.
So you avoid going to the doctor because you, no matter what, make enough money to the point where you couldn't even, upon getting a bill, go, oh, I don't have insurance, I need financial assistance, because no matter what.
And I looked into, like, I had insurance because I had some stuff I needed to get, like dental stuff I had to get done. So I went and got insurance and dental and stuff. But like just insurance on your own outside of like work, it was like $300 and something a month just to get some insurance, like outside of like through work. I was like, bro, that's fucking wild.
$300 a month makes no sense. I was doing like 150, 160, most $220 a month.
But it's because
even when we were at the Dubs, bro.
Yeah.
Blue Cross Blue Shield. Protecting.
Yeah, but that's through work and stuff.
Yeah.
This was like
private insurance.
Yeah, because I couldn't get it through work until the next enrollment. And then so that next enrollment came, and I wasn't at the meeting, so I didn't get told about it. And like I really wasn't paying attention to dates because I'd work and go home.
And even at that price, too, like it's probably still like you have to pay a percentage of hospital. Yeah, it's fucking.
So nuts. I just ended up canceling the insurance. And
isn't it wild how someone like me, I have done all these. I've had EKGs, MRIs, CAT scans. I mean everything under the sun, X-rays, finger in the butt. And I haven't had a single medical bill. It's all free.
Yeah, I want to go get something looked at. I'm booked.
Everything was free.
Yeah, but I want to go
because I can't afford it, and I can apply for financial assistance.
Yeah. I go to the ER and be like, I think my hand is broken, and they'll be like, here's $10,000, and I'll go sit in a waiting room.
It's wild, though. It's wild how the system is.
Well, if I need financial assistance, it's actually you make more than half of us do. We're gonna need you to sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, pay us your money. That's like, well, shit, fuck, my bad. But yeah.
Well, so, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. Life is strange.
Yeah, open
sometimes.
Enrollment's in the next. I think it starts like next month sometime.
What a wild concept right now. Real quick, throw it at you. Money's only important because we say it is. Could you imagine? Hold on. If majority of people in the world decided money was no longer important. If money no longer was important, then everything that people had worked to all of a sudden accumulate would no longer be. It would have all been for a waste. Like, let's say, for instance, within the next 4 years, something were to happen where it changed life in such a way where the accumulation of wealth was no longer necessary. The world became a place due to its hospitability, like however hospitable it might be at the time. Your main course of living did not involve money.
Yeah, the thing is
and if it didn't, then how you spent your life up till this point would no longer necessarily, if you were one of those people who especially spent their whole life in the accumulation of wealth and things like that, especially if, like, let's say ownership was no longer a thing. Like, let's say a government agency came in here and said that, oh, your house, your $400 million house or whatever, anything that you own, all your cars, that's you don't own anything anymore. You're ours. And if that everything you owned was even reclaimed, then all your time trying to accumulate whatever for yourself would be worthless anyway. So it's just like the idea that that all this is only important simply because the scenario currently, at this moment, deems it important, but it could very soon become irrelevant.
There's always been currency, though. For as long as there's been recorded history, there's been currency at some point. Whether it's money, gold,
And has every civilization up to this point been wiped out
or adjusted.
or adjusted? But to this point, every civilization prior that's no longer here is also no longer here, just due to whatever time, whatever. But let's just, the reality is like money is so just like time.
The thing is
It's
like
only
like you're saying, like
physical.
If suddenly they told you that everything you owned isn't yours and doesn't matter, there would just be chaos. Then there'd be anarchy. People would be trying to take over things and fight back. And then, okay, the dollar doesn't mean anything anymore. Okay, well then they'll go back to using something else's currency. It's just like the natural thing that happens.
Why do you think that that's the natural response?
It's just, I think that's just the human side of how we exist. Like I said, like if you go back as far as there's recorded history, there's always been some form of currency. Something has been used as a currency. For most of human recorded history, it was like gold and stuff like that.
When I hear that, it makes me think that for all of human history, our entire mindset has been want. The accumulation of
Well, it's not even
more.
It was not even fully
Never
for that,
just
because
being-
it's also like, if in a society, if there's, these people farm and then these people are miners, well, those farmers need new tools to keep farming.
Would you say money
those
is only
miners
relevant
need
with a
food.
concept for a future? Do you think if you lost your conceptualization of a future, money would no longer be relevant? Do
No.
you think it's only because our consciousness allows us to perceive a future? Remember when we said we were talking about the 12 rules for life with Jordan B. Peterson, and one of the rules was what? It was that what's not expedient. What was the whole? How do you phrase
Do what's
it?
meaningful, not expedient.
Do what's meaningful, not expedient. And we talked about how, the view of that was like, okay, well, I could kill this thing and eat it all right now until I'm full and let it go to waste. But if I take some of it and I share it with my neighbors, they'll be more likely to share with me in the future. So it became this thing where it was all of a sudden our conscious mind was adapting to perceive a future. Once we were able to finally adapt and perceive a future, we were able to go, oh, well, now it's not so much about just accumulating what tides me over in this moment and allowing myself to be content with the moment, from moment to moment, living moment to moment. Now I want to start planning for my future. And there's this consciousness, this mind that's adapted to plan for a future and to now try to go, oh, well, I'm not yet ready for that moment. So just like when you're talking about your job and you go, oh, well, it's not when this happens, right? When this happens then. But if all of a sudden, let's say your news was, hey, man, it's going to take probably another 7 years before your credit would be ever at a point where we're allowing you to get a house, and you find that out for certain, then you might abandon that theory, and that theory in you dies, and you might go, okay, well, now I'm just going to go make the swap anyway because I don't have to wait 2 years. So then this period of waiting would have been for no, because you're just waiting for information that would have told you that you'd never had to wait.
Counterpoint is, if we lose the conceptuality of a future, do we just become extinct? Because there's no preparation for anything, and then we just get wiped out.
Do you believe that we had always? So here's the thing then. So your question is, one more time. Say it.
If we lose the conceptuality, because you said, I bring it up because you said if we lose the idea of a future, then like money and stuff like that doesn't matter because we won't. The planning part doesn't come in. That's kind of where,
because we're not trying to set ourselves up for later.
But if you lose that conceptuality of a future, then you're also not setting yourself up to survive. You'll think about right now, and like he was saying, like that the caveman or whatever eating the food and just eats it all right now, then they'll die but they don't have any more food. And like how I was talking about, like the miners and the farmers, they have to like trade with each other. But if they don't think about the future, the miners are just going to keep mining because they need the mine right now. But all of a sudden they get hungry and die.
But no matter what, right? So let's say everybody simultaneously became of the same mindset, right? And let's say everybody simultaneously, or even over a period of time, started to become aware that money or planning for the future, things have always naturally taken a certain course, right? They've always naturally sort of survived by just taking a natural course. You can try to plan for something as much as you want, but oftentimes our plans go awry anyway. And in fact, a lot of the things that we plan for that go awry are the primary source of our discomfort or suffering. In fact, can you think of any single moment during any single time where, even from a psychological aspect, your suffering or your like, anytime you're upset or angry or sad was because of desire? Any moment where it was not because of desire? Any moment in life ever? What?
I mean, people pass away.
And that's been used as an example before. Someone used that, and I could even use it as an example, right? But here's the deal. Did you want them to pass away?
No.
So you didn't want them to. And they did. So it was so you did, it's still desire. Whether you want or you don't want something to happen, you have desired for an outcome. The only time we can ever suffer is if we desire an outcome.
Well, there'll always be a desire for anything.
I understand that because that's human nature. So that's the whole point.
That's just nature.
The knowledge of good and evil, the knowledge of right or wrong, the knowledge of anything, point A and point B, allows us to distance it from itself. In fact, something can only become an object once it's established in space and time. And so if you put 2 points on a map, you know that there's a all of a sudden this one becomes in relation to this one. So it's the same thing with establishing a future. I mean, if you only plan for right now, and I'm like, all right, well, right now with you in this exact moment, if I do only everything that kind of like helps sustain this moment with you, and you did everything that helps sustain this moment, then we're still in harmony with each other. It's not like all of a sudden there's chaos
to a point.
And disarray. The moment someone else needs something or you need something, if your goal, if your general understanding of the world was that, we want to try to best provide for this moment, no matter who is in this moment with us or what's in this moment, how can we best serve this moment?
Yeah.
Then everyone is going to be willing to best serve the moment.
Yeah.
No one's going to want to naturally harm the moment.
Yeah, but eventually there's still working towards the future inherently in that. Because, okay, say there's a hungry man in front of you and you have food. You would give him some food for this moment. It helps this moment. And there's another hungry man. You give him food. Eventually, you have no more food.
And then I need food and someone gives it to me.
But they have to, where are they getting it? Because eventually no one's making food.
Have you ever noticed this? Think about the 4 seasons in the world. Have you ever noticed how in the winter, how many animals fucking are all of a sudden hibernating and non-existent? And they need all this food to somehow store up for the entire winter. They need all this supply of food. And where are we going to get it? It's not even here during the summer, and it's not even here during the spring. But all of a sudden, right before it's winter, fall comes.
Yeah.
And when fall comes, all of a sudden, berries that were never on the trees start to come. Right before winter, there's winter berries that all of a sudden come. All of a sudden, the pine cones and all of a sudden the
nature
provides itself. Nature naturally will provide whatever's needed for anything. Whatever is needed, and your psyche and your mind will naturally. You're never going to allow. The all is never going to allow the all or any part of it to not sustain itself in some way, shape, or form. And even the things that we think are not sustaining are still sustaining. And I use that example of all of a sudden Nick's driving in his car for the first time when he gets one back, and he gets hit by a bus, and he dies. And everybody who loved Nick goes, "Oh my God, that's the worst thing in the entire world. This is a bad moment."
Yeah.
But had that bus hit any other point, had Nick not got hit by the bus, that bus would have hit something else, and it would have killed it would have created the worst. Hundreds of thousands of people and all their families would have been fucking hurt, right? So it's like sometimes even something that seems so terrible, we don't know what would have happened otherwise even.
But I'm just saying, like, if everything, like you said, like that idea of the future and like working toward just the current moment, eventually people aren't preparing enough stuff for the future. And like you said, nature will provide, but nature itself can't provide enough for the human race anymore, which is why we have to, like, we plant the stuff, we make the stuff, because our pure population would If we just had to start living off nature,
And I'm not just saying
naturally-
live off nature, but
I know,
no,
but it
don't-
would have to be because we can't manufacture things anymore because that's manufacturing is producing something for future use. So if we're no longer working towards the
Mhm.
future, then nothing's being made. Nothing's being produced for future production. So like, oh, I've got food now, but no one's making more ingredients or making sure there's enough ingredients
okay.
for food in the future.
And why is there all of a sudden this surplus of want and need, right?
Because of
How many people there are,
mm-hmm.
right? Do you think there would be as many people as there are now if there was no planning anymore?
No.
No. So do you think that the world would then somehow only have enough people?
Yeah,
to
but
the
I'm
point where
saying,
it
but
could
like a
sustain
lot of
itself
people
off
would
of-
wipe out, and then we'd also just fall back to there's still always going to be an aspect of the future, whether we consciously are thinking about it, we will naturally be working towards it. Fucking every animal works towards its own future. Every animal does it. Everything every animal does is towards its future.
Mm-hmm.
Caterpillar gets up, it eats enough to get to the point where it can become.
But
a
an
butterfly.
animal doesn't have the knowledge of good and evil, of right and wrong, right? See,
Mhm.
that's the difference. That's the difference between the human realm and an animal realm is, yes, no matter what, humans and animals alike avoid suffering and seek pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Humans and
Mhm.
human beings and animals, they seek pleasure, they avoid suffering. Always. We always will.
Mhm.
So they say.
Technical difficulties number 2.
Mm-hmm.
We are back again.
I don't even know. You cut where?
I did a little investigating after I had to recover files. Our audio recording program crashed. Gotta love technology.
Yeah, we're just going
Um,
with the flow here.
But yeah, last thing he had said was about like if I found out that I had to wait like 7 years to get a house, that I would probably pull the trigger on changing my job, and I would. But without knowing that, I can't like in a like strong belief do it now. If there is a chance that I can get the house now, or
Yeah.
get a house here soon. If I get a definitive thing that even if I have to wait a year or so, then I'll probably pull the trigger. It's just right now without the info, I have to go with what I do know. And what I do know is that I need to stay here in time being until I get more information.
And like always, after the cut, we ended up having pretty deep conversations about a lot of different things.
Yep.
That I don't even know.
We kind of went off of it. I talked about like what if he's saying like, you know, if we lose the idea of the understanding of
If we lose a
future,
concept of the future, does all of a sudden
do we
the
just
need-
die
the need for money, is that irrelevant? And then he posed, well, then would we just die?
because no one's preparing for the future? And then
And then I was saying how nature naturally sort of like receives and takes care of itself. Like even if you look at the seasons, fall prepares us for winter. Like anything that needs to hibernate or accumulate, the plants naturally provide enough for
But
it
then-
in order to hibernate with it and collect
yeah,
itself. And he was saying, well, we can't just naturally survive off the earth
there's
because
too much of us now.
there's too much of us now. And I was like, well, here's the thing. I was like, isn't the whole idea then is like if all of a sudden our want, our desire, our concept of the future, do you think there's supposed to be this many of us? Isn't the fact that we just want to live longer and our desire for all this medicine to keep us alive and have better skin and all these different things that we don't necessarily need? What if our lifespan's only meant to be 30 or 40 years right now?
fuck that
Think
shit.
of our teeth. Do you know our teeth don't nearly last a lifetime? We know this. It doesn't matter how fucking well you take care of them. Our teeth are not designed to last 60, 70, 80 years. They're not. They're meant to last 40, 50 at most.
Yep.
At most, our teeth are designed to last for that, no matter how fucking well you take care of them with all the modern science. So it's like, maybe we're just not meant to live to 80, 90 years old,
Yeah.
to the point where we don't need to live when we're all broken down and falling apart. Like once my kids are finally of age and things like that, take me out back, put me down like old Yeller. And let's move on or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but nature will take its course. It will have its flow. Our need for excess, our constant want, our constant desire for more age, keep me alive, keep all my family alive, keep everything from me. There's never a single moment where anything happens that's going to upset you that's outside of your desire. Even if someone dies that you don't want to die, your desire for them to be alive is the opposite from what occurred, and therefore you're upset. So our desire is the only thing. And then we started talking about how the Bible could, in theory, just be instead of like a truth,
Mm.
talking about like birth, old age, sickness, death type
Yeah.
thing, where it's like
Well, it's
in the
kind of
beginning
same
there was
idea
light.
with
When you're
any-
born, all you see is light.
Yeah.
All you know is just light to exist. You haven't even separated light from darkness yet. By the time your eyes adjust to the light and separate light from darkness, you start to see that the earth is without form and void, and all of a sudden these things like, so it's like, what if it's just a big giant metaphor for just being born?
Mhm.
And then we started talking about how traumatic birth could even be in general,
Mhm.
just getting us caught up to date. Think about how traumatic birth is. Like we already know that human beings are conscious even before birth. So now you're in there, you're all cocooned, your life, everything you know to exist, consciousness itself is just this, you know? And then all of a sudden you are born, which probably feels like dying.
Mhm.
I would imagine being born feels a lot like dying.
I also, how much do you actually like? Yeah, we're technically like alive and stuff. Like we're in the room and all, like the womb and all that. But are we actually? Is it like we're awake and aware, or are we just hibernating?
And then that goes into the whole thing. So it's like, imagine if you're not awake and aware and you're just hibernating.
Then you just wake up to the world.
And all of a sudden you wake up, and that's the apple. That's the knowledge of good and evil. There's the metaphor there, where it's like all of a sudden you are born now. You're in Eden, and you realize that you are separate. You have an identity. You have a separate self. You realize you see a mom and a dad or a human. You see something other than you. You see something outside of yourself. And since all of a sudden a point that had no other points that were connecting, you see a point again. Now you realize a sense of self, because you go, oh, that's not me. That's something different. So wait a second. Now you've separated lightness from darkness, right? Now you are all of a sudden conscious of a self. There's something outside of you. You've opened your eyes. You're not blind anymore. You're not lamed. And now you're filled with suffering, because now you can have want and you can have desire. Now you need now you're hungry. Now food is no longer just everything your mom eats. It's just naturally, you're just naturally fed. Now you have want. Now all of a sudden you need food. You're breathing air. You're coming out crying because you just died. You just fucked yourself up by even being here in the first place, which you never asked to be. So yeah,
For sure.
welcome back to Slightly Serious with Nick and Zane. In the middle of all these, you'll probably see that we've interspersed a few little hints here and there, reminding you of our brilliant and lovely sponsor, or partner, for that matter, Zane.
Burning River Tattoo Company.
Burning River Tattoo Company.
And we just,
we just love them so much, and we really want you to go check them out.
Yep. I probably had the ad played earlier. And we're just kind of chilling, letting things do their thing. We're happy to be back in person doing a recording.
Yeah.
Probably won't be every recording, but we'll get them interspersed until we have a more set studio somewhere.
We're trying to do what we do.
There's a plan for better Zoom setups. This laptop here, I got a new one. It said it's just not set up with everything it needs yet. But this laptop here will be getting...
Clearly, this one does not currently suffice. He's replaced it.
Yeah, it doesn't suffice for all of this. It can handle Zoom meetings and stuff. It just has too much on it right now to continue doing as like the workhorse.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. It's not a recording. It's not like a studio laptop. It's just a laptop that's been overworked and overused.
I bought a laptop. It was a content creation bundle, so it's actually like pre-programmed with like the best software and hardware to be able to handle making videos and doing editing.
Looks beautiful. I'm so excited.
And then whenever the new studio comes, I'll probably have a desktop computer that'll actually be the one handling everything. But in the meantime, since we're going to be doing a majority of our recordings for the future until a set studio's back, I'm going to get this one, everything I need off of it for the channel. Going to get a factory reset, and then it'll be Nick's computer.
Woo!
And that way he can use a computer for recording. We'll have to get him like some headphones and a microphone for it. That way he can kind of have a little setup here, and it'll be better than just off his phone or off an iPad.
Just because right now it's going to be really hard for us to get in the studio.
Yep. And so like I can come over here and do this occasionally, but
it's a lot to set up.
As you saw, I walked in. I have 2 suitcases and a couple of small boxes on the side that had everything we needed, and there's just
it's not as little as I thought. It's a
And
lot to
this
bring
is-
over here.
This is still, I didn't bring full mic stands. I just brought
No
little ones
green
for us to hold
screen.
on.
Yeah, just
No desk with the chairs. There's no stand for the camera. I
a
still
lot of
brought
plugs.
I brought bare minimum here
lot
to
of
even set
wires.
it up, but
All this
Future-
behind the scenes bullshit you don't get to see,
And
we
the-
get to deal with.
there will be more stuff coming in the future though. Changes. Said it's just gonna be. We'll let time do what it needs to make it happen. But
In the meantime, if you could click that like and subscribe button, it's that one kind of right below where you're looking at now.
actually,
and
when we say subscribe, the subscribe button, if it's not clicked, will actually light up. Little known facts from some people, but whenever a video,
when it's clicked,
when we say the word subscribe, if the button had already been hit, it highlights.
so if I say subscribe,
Probably not every time, but the first time,
there might be a subscribe,
the button kind of highlights.
and you
If
can
you don't like
subscribe.
that, it's kind of annoying. You should probably click the subscribe button to stop that.
Yeah,
Hit the like button, comment
Like.
down below, let us know your thoughts on everything we've been discussing, and
we're obviously we're gonna keep this up.
Yeah.
It started out as something that we didn't even know we
figure
were
out
gonna keep doing.
We'll figure out the best way to keep doing it. And said once the studio stuff is back, we'll push back into that. But in the meantime, we're gonna do what we can to kind of make the best content we can. in the
Also,
meantime.
one of the things I want to add, I know originally we talked about possibly a merch drop or things like a book, some of the books that we had previously read being handed out. Another one of the things that I wanted to pose would be getting someone in here, regardless of a winning thing. I'd love to, especially since we're doing the Zoom thing now, get somebody who also has Zoom or a laptop or something to have a guest on the show. It would be cool to hear somebody else's story or chat with some other people. I'll be upfront with you right now. I do have a friend who was on the Jerry Springer show. I'm not going to name names right now, who has agreed to possibly share his story about being on the Jerry Springer show with us. He was on an episode called Midget Madness back in the day. In early 2000s on Jerry Springer show, has this huge elaborate story about how it went down and the story that they had made up in order to get on the show, and just behind the scenes with Jerry and wanting a cigarette so badly on set and not getting one.
Yeah,
All these
cool.
different things. Really, really fun. Who would love to tell a story. On top of that, he had a prank show that he would do, late night calls and things like that.
Yeah, well,
Really would be cool to get him on here.
We'll look into that and setting something up like that. But, make sure you guys go check out Birding River Tattoo. Even if you're not in the area and you can't go, at least give them a check out, share their page. to
Medina,
your
Ohio.
friends. If you know anybody coming to the area, tell them about it. Maybe they go get a tattoo. But you check them out. They're cool people. Again, like you said, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Yeah, do it.
And what else do they need to do? There's something I can't remember.
Oh, if you could just go say hello to your mother for me.
Oh yeah, and tell somebody you love them. And we'll see you next time. We appreciate you guys for holding in with us while we, figure this all out and make this the best it
Yeah.
can be. And we love you guys. We'll see you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Fuck this mic.